First of all, thank to you all for coming. Before we move to Aziz Elkun, a well-known Uyghur poet, writer, and researcher, why are we here? I think obviously you all know why we're here. We've seen the program, you're following this and are involved in this very, very closely. Aziz Elkun, who's from East Turkestan in the Uyghur Autonomous Region, a graduate from Xinjiang University, and without further ado, I'll pass you over to Aziz. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, let me briefly tell you about the current Uyghur tragedy and how it affected to the Uyghur people, and of course its effect on my family and on me. Over the past century, countries have used the tool of nationalism to pursue their interests. Nationalism is about people, land, and the relationship between them. Nationalist propaganda seeks to define a special relationship between a unique people and a particular territory. The Uyghurs are one of the many peoples who have been left out of this neat equation. Under the apartheid policies being pursued by Chinese President Xi Jinping since 2016, millions of Uyghurs are suffering inhumane treatment in internment camps within the Uyghur region. Uyghurs in exile are also suffering because China has cut off all communication between Uyghurs at home and abroad. I want to use this opportunity to tell you my own story, as I am in front of you, a fact. As an example, how Uyghurs in exile have become so desperate in response to China's ethnic cleansing policies. In my second year of university, in 1989, I was 21 years old student from Xinjiang University in Urumqi. I participated in the student protests calling for equal rights, freedom, and democracy for the Uyghur people. This incident became a problem for me later after I graduated. I was fired from my job and accused of separatism, and I have to leave my homeland. I lived in the UK since 2001. My father was born during the time of Republic of East Turkestan in 1946. I was born. My father and I were citizens of People's Republic of China, residents of our historic fatherland, East Turkestan. But China renamed it Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region in 1955. My father died in November 2017. I could not get a visa to attend his funeral as a British citizen. Soon after that, my communication with my mother was cut off. I could not know if she was in a camp or even still alive. I wrote a story named An Unanswered Telephone Call. I produced a short film based on the story. I still felt stressed and sleepless nights. In April 2019, I discovered from Google Earth that the tomb of my father and the whole graveyard had been destroyed. My father stayed in his tomb for only 623 days. Chinese government said this was to modernize us. I felt as if my father's body had been brutally torn out of its resting place in our ancestors' land. After my recent interview with CNN about the destruction of my father's tomb, the Chinese Global Times, CCTV, and China Global Television Network specially responded, spreading false information about the destruction of my father's tomb by forcing my 78-year-old mother to give an interview. I learned from friends living outside from the region that my mother was alive and that my sister had been detained in an internment camp for more than a year and a half. I still have no news of my other relatives. Thanks to this Chinese Global Times TV network's report, I have now heard voice for the first time since December 2017. I wrote an obituary for my father when I got news of his death. Now, I would like to read part of it for you. Dear father, you were a gardener with green fingers. When the thorns grow, you won't be there to prune them. You were a doctor. You cured so many patients. Now my heart is broken, but you are not there to cure it. You left today in your coffin, heading towards your tomb. Your son could not carry you because he was not beside you. When 7 spades of soil were dropped on you, people said farewell to you, and I was not there. Let Elkun cry now because he has lost his father. I could not see you alive for the last time. I wrote this poem soon after I heard my father's death. Every single Uyghur in exile today can tell, like me, a similar story of lost and disappeared friends and families. This is a time of crisis. This is a time of tragedy for the Uyghur people. Around 20 million population. And with this opportunity, I would like to tell Uyghurs are not minority in their homeland. I would like to thank the organizer of this conference. And I hope we will have a meaningful discussion today. Thank you very much.